I've been in the bando with the chick. Well, Jimmy Choo Sando, cause I'm rich.
What's going on? What's going on, man? It's your boy Rich and Faith TV. We always working, we always grinding. And today we have an R&B artist in the building. My boy Hasani Vibez, man. Pop it, dog.
What's up, y'all? You are now catching some Hasani Vibez. Yeah.
Facts. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
he lavalier up. He on the mic, so you know he can sing for real. He had to show y'all. So,
Yes, sir.
hey, man, how you doing today, dog?
Man, I'm good. I'm great. I'm blessed.
That's good vibes. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you come from, how you got started, all that.
I come from, most people call it the East Side. Born DeKalb Medical, straight. Kind of raised between like Gresham Road, grew up in elementary over there, and then moved, Stone Mountain and stuff like that. So, going through the motions with that and learning and loving life and everybody I met there and just everybody that poured into me over there. And how I started singing, I grew up in a church, singing in a church, and the church choir was a tenor at first. Really never saw myself singing or having this as a career at first, but actually my artistic thing started when I was drawing at a young age, at like 6 or something. But I always had dreams, when I was, I'll say 6 or like 5, of me just on stage or just in front of people just performing. I always saw myself just in front of a huge crowd. And I kind of neglected it because of sports and how I grew up and where I grew up. I always played football, soccer, and just, park ball and all that stuff. But then as I got older, I kind of got closer. You can never run away from what God truly has for you. So I got older. I felt myself getting closer to the arts. I always had that arts with me. But I started singing, kind of when I went into a downfall, I said, in a dark spot. But I needed that dark spot to bring out the singing. And now it's an outlet for me, a creative outlet that I don't know what I'd do without it. So,
Yeah. So, as far as like school and football, you told me that you were able to get a scholarship to go to Morehouse and play football. How do you mix the two and stay consistent with both of those?
To be honest, I get asked that question like a lot, because a lot of people say I'm living like, I guess like Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus thing. Because on one end, I'm like a Miley Cyrus. I'm in school as a student. At Morehouse, I was at the JUCO first. And now, as always, it's like kind of at night have a R&B career, like singing literally like in front of crowds and stuff. I would say just really it's the determination and the faith that I have in what I want to do. And it's not really like I know how to like schedule the time. You got to know your priorities as well, with the arts and what you need to do. Besides, you got to do what you need to do what you want to do. So once I understood at my JUCO at Andrew College, playing soccer down there, that okay, I got to, and able to get to this place, I got to be able to do this stuff first, so I can have time to come back and just look. I found like little spaces where I see people play video games. I never played video games. Instead of video games, I go in the studio.
Yeah.
So little stuff like that, I noticed I could do with my time. I just trying to master time, but it's always a learning process always. So trying to master the time and just do what I love, and that's truly what I love, and you really gotta love it to be in it. So
yeah. I know all about that JUCO grind. That's a different type of grind, man. You gotta stay focused with that, for real, because you can get real discouraging, especially if like things not working out your way on the field or whatnot, and you gotta wait till your turn. So that come with great discipline. You gotta stick with so that. With you going to a historical black college like Morehouse, and a lot of benefits come with that, what do you do to incorporate your music life with your student life to kind of like use some of the alumni that was there to probably help you get in the door in the music industry?
Currently, that's exactly kind of why I chose it. But just one thing for the name, but another thing for the experience. Just reaching out as well to alumni. Hey, I'm here. As not just musical alumni as well, but like alumni from Morehouse that's in the media, like Cam Kirk, of course Samuel L. Jackson, and just reaching out, John David Washington, and looking up to those brothers, but also saying, hey, I'm here now, and I'm kind of following in your footsteps with creating my own path. Like it's like, hey, I'm there, and how can I I'm understanding now that where I'm at now, I can live my place. I can live, not just my name, but my career, because it's bigger than me. So that to a whole different place and a whole different atmosphere with just the people that went there and the connections I can make there now. So, get really ready to, of course, promote, pass out things, connect, because there's multiple artists around there, around the whole AUC, and, with Spelman and Clark Atlanta, just everywhere. Atlanta's the Mecca now. So just down there, just taking every opportunity really and looking at it, observing it, and being smart with it and how I can use it, to put my name out there and stuff like that.
So off record, you were telling me about a situation you ran into with past relationship, and it took you to a really dark place, but it boosts your confidence up. Talk to us about that.
With that, and that kind of led me to the singing. In high school, when I was, in 10th grade? I don't know. Young, I'll just say young, 10th grade, around that time. High school, for me, that was a place of like, I'm trying to find a word. Just a place where I wasn't truly in, I wouldn't say reality, but it felt like, it was its own world.
It was its own world.
Yeah, it was its own world, and learning what I create, who I meet, and stuff there, learning everything around it. I was, and I love hard, and I love with everything I got. And, the person I was with, of course, did the same thing. And just circumstances happened where that place in my life, throughout high school, I was, I'm always a people person, like cool with every group. I didn't really have any beef. I never did none of that. Just was cool with everybody, going to the cafeteria, shaking hands with football team, soccer team. Like I felt like I glued people together, stuff like that. So, going through that, I met this beautiful woman, and we were just inseparable. I just had that time, and that led me just learning love and maturity from that relationship. Led me to singing at the end of it, just because of really how much I truly did, love, and had that love for her. So I guess you would say going through that senior year really, kind of broke me. Mm-hmm. And it's sad because most of the senior year is like the place where everybody's just, thriving and stuff. But I would say I still thrive, God, that was God's plan, it wasn't my plan. And when I truly surrendered at the end of the year to him, he said, okay, I'm gonna take everything from you. How you gonna trust me when I take everything from you? He took everything I truly love, because I wouldn't say I was focused more on, her and our love and everything I had going on, and caught up in myself before I had my faith in God. And I was getting away from that, so he slowed me down and put me into that. Like he said, okay, you want me, you surrendered to me, you gave it to me, I'm finna test you. He took all of that away from me. So that included, my girl that I had then, sports, everything I had going for me in sports. Captain of the soccer team, captain of the football team, all my scholarships gone. There was one school that believed in me, Andrew College, my JUCO. Shout out to them and Coach Taylor for believing in me.
Shout out to Coach Taylor.
Shout out to Coach Taylor. And just in that moment, it's not like, I don't have no hate or animosity. Yeah. And I just remember just in the wheelchair and rolling around senior night, like, dang, we lost our championship by 1.2. And I felt like, if I was there, I could have changed that. Because they ran a punt back, and I was a punter at the time. I was linebacker, running back, all that stuff. But in those moments, we have that high, and you think you could be at the highest place. You think you don't have any more ceilings to go to. God will bring you right back down and humble you to like a place where, okay, you want me, I want to use you. That's what he basically said. And I remember before that game, I just felt the breeze. It's like a movie, and it never rained, throughout that time, but it happened, and that's why, that play. Then on from the playing football, I was running. I'm sorry, I'm just going.
No, you cool.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah.
It's just a lot.
Yeah, I understand it.
my fault. It's
No, you was basically talking about the injury.
Yeah.
How it was raining.
Yeah, it was really like heavy.
Yeah.
And it just started raining in that moment, basically. And I'm never one person to give up, ever. And anything I believe in. So everybody kind of missed the tackle. And I was the last one. I was about to get out too. Coach was about to take me out as a linebacker. And I came and hit me when we both collided. He went that way, I went that way. I didn't get up.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out I had a torn ACL, LCL, MCL, my whole left knee was torn.
Mm-hmm.
That's where, once again, all my scholarships dropped. Everything that I had and believed in kind of dropped and just faded out. But, it wasn't just, on her that time. It was me too. Like, I get in a place where I push people away so I could figure myself out first. So that's what I felt I kind of did. For sure, I did that. But in that moment, I made a song 2 years back just of how I felt about her. It's called A Message for a Queen. And that's how I was raised to treat my woman like a queen. Any woman around me any woman that I'm, and not even just in a relationship, my mother, my sister, auntie, everyone, like a queen, like how they should be, especially the black woman. So in that moment, just things crashed and took everything away from me. So I decided to release the song when I was in the wheelchair. Really, I didn't even release it. I sent it out to a friend, to my football team, and then they start, bro, this is Hasani. So from then on, like everybody in the school was singing, it's Hasani, and I heard it.
Yeah.
So I released it on SoundCloud, and then everybody it's just a lot of love going on there.
Yeah, it'd be like that. So like now as an adult, like how do you, stay disciplined and stay focused on your faith and then on your word and not letting life things take you away from that?
That's a great question. Back then, I was 18, now I'm 20. So even within those 2 years, I learned there's two things that you can do in this world. And it's truly two things, get closer or farther away from God. And learning that and just learning how hard life can hit you, how hard life we can make life as well. Learning to really the biggest thing is my obedience to the Almighty. I just got to be obedient and trust in the faith. And one thing I am learning as I'm older that I know when I was younger, I didn't have no questions kind of when I was younger because that's what I felt I had to do. But now, as I'm older, going into all these things and all these, everybody, has an opinion. And I'm an open-minded person. I'm not a closed-minded person. But just taking in all these things, all I have to do is just listen to God. So learning that, listening and trusting and keeping the faith in God, just like I did when coming into Morehouse, coming from the JUCO. And I remember even the closest people to me was like, Hasani, maybe you should go to this school first and then try to go to Morehouse. Like, no, I said, God put that vision in my head. When He give us visions and trust in the visions and the faith and everything that He speaks on us, it's true. We just have to believe it, especially the dreams. All of that is true. But, it's other factors in this world that don't want us to believe that.
How could you make that, everything you just said, how do you make that sound cool in the music, with R&B?
That's a great question. So, that's kind of what I'm learning right now in the whole factor, because now just as off of the attention that I do have now, I'm grateful for it and it's a lot, but I have to learn that, man, I'm just, you a sap, you a lover boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think of R&B, you think of sap, loving, soul. Like, I kind of speak from the soul and stay true to myself, but incorporating that and not trying to sound, what's the term? People say, oh, that's lame,
Yeah, I guess, yeah, I feel you.
Stuff about God is lame,
yeah.
Stuff about,
I don't think it's lame. I don't think it's really as lame like it used to be. Like, it's a little bit cooler now because it's a balance between people talking about the devil and Satan, and you got people talking about God, so it's like a balance now. But I feel where you're coming from, though.
So, that goes into kind of where I grew up and taking things from what I grew up around, where I grew up, especially like just from Atlanta, like seeing things, being around things, going to Golden Glide, seeing, stuff, being around the music, listen, I remember when Thug came out, I remember when all these artists came out and the messages in that music, wasn't really talking about nothing. It was just flow and beats that catch everybody now, especially now. So learning basically what I said in college, like what I have to do in order to get them to hear what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I started this year. Everybody mentioned, Hasani, you should just rap, because I can spit too, but
Mm-hmm.
I just like coming from the soul when I speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say now, especially now, this summer actually, and this summer is just learning. I'm not comfortable with not being true to who I am, so I had to learn. Okay, let's do it. Let's drop a trap song here. That's what they want right now. That's what's going to grab their attention. And then boom, I dropped A Queen's Triumph. That's a song that I just dropped, the most recent one, with two female poets. But it's like, okay, first it was on me, oh, Sonny, this trap's, everybody sending me.
Mm-hmm.
That trap's so hard, you finally dropped some traps, so you finally dropped it. Because I was making like, trap music just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm learning, basically I had to learn what grabs their attention first, and then once I have the attention, what can I really put out, my real message, and love and God, but also purpose, and just, finding faith. Especially love, but that's my biggest thing, promoting love, because that's the biggest thing we have. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody should be loved. That's why we're here, to love and promote love.
So what do you do when love like gets you in trouble, or it's probably holding you back?
Hey.
Love, man.
That's true.
Yeah, talk to me. I feel you. I would love it too, but love can be a gift and a curse. You see what I'm saying? It can be a gift and a curse, man.
And I say for that, another thing I learned, just everything in moderation. You can't have super too much of everything. But just with drugs, drinking, everybody, it's all in moderation. But when you abuse certain things,
Okay.
don't abuse it. You gotta understand.
What is abusing love? Talk to me. All right, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I say abusing love is,
You got something good on your hands.
Yeah.
I mean, and I could probably think to myself, what is abusing love, but what's your perspective of it?
I say my perspective. Actually,
Abusing love.
yeah,
Abusing love. That's the topic. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
I'm just saying, this is the real one.
That's a great question. That's gonna be a song.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a song.
Abusing love. I'll pop it off.
Uh-huh.
Abusing love to me. All right. It turns into like a manipulation situation when I feel like you abuse love. Like, let's say I know my girl love me to death, and I'm just gonna go do some fuck shit and know the fact that she still love me to death. So she probably, the chances of her leaving is high, but I do know I got a window gap because I know how much she love me. I can look at that and say that's abusing love. Or like, what in a woman's perspective, of a man doing everything for her, but she's not giving the 100% all, and she's doing like bullshit behind his back. That's abusing love.
Okay, yeah, I see. Okay.
Taking advantage.
Thank you for popping that up. See, now I see where you're going. I would say abusing love. One thing I learned, even in my relationship now, with shout out my beautiful girlfriend. That if people say 50-50 all the time, it's not gonna be days where you're 50-50 all the time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be some days where you're 30 and your girl come with the 70. It's gonna be days when you 70 and your girl come with the 30.
Yeah.
And it's little stuff like that, but if you abuse and take, just like you said, take advantage of everything that person does for you, not just materialism,
just anything.
But literally, yeah, because I just had a conversation with somebody else, like especially with how a woman is a natural nurturer, the Black Queen especially, and everything she goes through, and just being the force that she is, just everything that she brings for your mental, for your physical and your soul, just it's a healer, it's a natural healer. And the man can also be a healer, but abusing that and like, babe, I messed up. Like always keeping doing the same thing and the same mistakes and the same wrong thing. You know you're doing that thing. And you know that person is going to be there to heal you each time. That's not the point of it. The point is to grow.
With some of your new music you putting out, how are you dropping jewels and giving game on not abusing love or being more of a lover than taking away from your love?
Like little factors, like I know it's just vocals, especially. I try to get the rawest that I can, but also of course good quality, but like where you can hear this stuff, because that matters too. Like real instruments, especially too.
Yeah, I heard that in some of your music.
And bands, especially like with my band. Shout out to my band, Hasani Vibez, the best band alive. I love them boys, and that's why I met down in my JUCO in Cuthbert. Got a band together, created a whole Thanksgiving album. It's something about that. It's a difference in that real music, with real instruments than everything kind of out now. It's just like you could hear what stuff is on the computers and stuff. You notice the difference. You can feel the difference. I just like people when they hear it and they feel it. I just want them to feel it. So, leaving my impact in them with music, but just my art, and just leaving a piece of myself, sharing that with them, and my love especially too.
Facts. So, what could we expect from you, musically, the rest of the year?
The rest of the year, I say, November's finest, for sure. So November is either a project, an EP, something. But right now, I'm kind of just taking my time and understanding more of the business side of music, especially. So, but November, especially, something Thanksgiving or something just R&B album, A Lover's Language for sure coming. That might be the one for sure. But that one right there it's real special to me. So I'm a perfectionist. I want to make sure it's everything of everything before I put it out, and for other people to hear and stuff like that. But yeah, for this year, I should be wrapping it up. But as far as like that and just music wise, yeah. But like I got a movie coming out soon.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's
what's up. And stuff like that. So, yeah, just trying to pace and grateful for every opportunity that I get in just the arts and everything that I do that coming.
Facts, man. Well, look, I appreciate you, man, coming through here, man, doing the interview with us, man. Spreading those Hasani vibes, man. Make sure y'all go check his music out. Real R&B is back, man. Is there anything you want to say before we slide?
In your life, think of your life as a tree. Think of people around you as a tree. There'll be roots, there'll be some leaves, there'll be branches. Never forget your roots. Never forget those who water you and help you grow. And remember that love, that's a form of love that's always inputted into you. And spread love, be love. Vibe, love y'all. So yeah.
It's your boy Rich. We out.